Alright, today I'm going to show you a little trick that Andy there came up with for deck belts that won't stay on. First you got to make sure everything else is perfect on the mower. Everything's lined up properly, and it's normally, when a belt throws off, it's normally going to be throwing it off on your idler or your pivot arm, or in this case it's the slide. And the way we're going to come up with a design here, it's going to keep the belt from jumping off no matter what. If somebody gets on this mower and has the RPMs at all the way at the lowest RPMs it can go, and then they engage the blades, that puts a lot of slap in that belt, because that engine's turning so slow. Whenever they engage that PTO, it grabs immediately and it just bam, it slaps that idler arm and jerks it real bad. And a lot of times that's why these belts get thrown off. And or anything can cause it to jump off, a stick or whatever. But we're going to put a belt guard on this idler slide right here and keep it from happening. I'll show you what we do, the process through it. We've been doing it for probably 15 years. We've been using them, and we don't put them on every mower, but if you do get a mower come through here and you've done everything it needs to be done to it, and still customer says it's throwing the belt once in a while, if you put this what here I'm about to do to it, if you do what I'm fixing to do, it'll eliminate the belt problem. So let's go ahead and come over here to the plasma cutter and I'll show you what we got. So this is the pulley that they're using on that idler slide. So you're going to want to get you something that's about an inch bigger than that pulley on all sides. In my case, we're working with about a ½ inch bigger. Put that down, trace it. We're going to make us a round plate, and the hole right dead in the center. But what that plate's going to do is we're going to space it up so that it rides right above this pulley, so that the pulley's not touching it and that plate rides right above it. And if that belt's riding and it tries to jump and bounce up, it'll hit that plate and keep it right back on the pulley. So let's get this cut out first. Alright, once you got your plate dressed up, got the edges kind of smoothed out, there's no sharp edges on it, you're going to want to get you some spacers of some kind. You can normally use washers, but this is a 5/8 bolt, so we're going with something a little bigger so it don't touch. You can't have nothing touch the outside of this. It's got to set right there flush on that bearing. And you want your pulley to be spaced just enough. Be like that is a little bit too much, so I'm going to take some off of this spacer. I'm going to grind it down a little bit so that this sits a little bit closer to the pulley, and then we'll put it together. Alright, here's how she's set up. And I got a little bit off center on my, if I had a jig to cut them out perfect, it would be great, but they don't have to be perfect. Your belt's going to be riding on this side of the pulley right here, so I want my longest lip to be hanging over on this side, because that belt's always going to try to jump off right here. And if it does, it's going to hit that and bring it right back onto the pulley. And you want it as close as you can get it without it touching the pulley, just like that. So that works out perfect. Like I said, we've been using these setups like this for a long time, and it works fantastic. The belt will not come off of this. It may come off somewhere else, but it ain't gonna come off here. And normally when you got a belt jumping off, it's always gonna be jumping off on the idler arm, because it's the moving part, and it's the first place it's always gonna jump off. So we'll get it set back up. I am going to paint this to keep it from rusting, but we'll get it set up first to make sure everything's lining up properly. And I'll show you kind of how it works. Alright, there she is mounted. You can see when that belt's coming from down there at that engine, it's coming, let's spin the blade the way that it spins. See how that belt, this with the deck all the way down, it's going to ride kind of high on that pulley, but you see where that top of that belt's touching that pulley right now. They're not going to be cutting with the deck this low, so they don't. Once you raise the deck up a little bit, it kind of brings that belt back down. But if you were to engage this right now with it at low RPMs, that belt's going to slap real hard, and you're going to get a wave come down that belt. And when it hits that right there, if that guard weren't up there, it could easily jump off. With that guard up there, that belt comes up and hits this right here, it's going to fall right back down on the pulley, and it ain't going to come off. So Pretty cool design. It works really good. I hope that helps you guys out. As always, I appreciate you watching. Y'all keep wrenching.